All right, we're live. Thanks for joining me, David.
Glad to be here.
Let's dive into the InterBrain.
Mhm.
I'm going to share my screen.
Perfect.
So I've got your private beta launch. I'm going to click on, great, cool.
So yeah, you can scroll down to installation and setup.
Mhm.
And yeah, here you will see these two different commands. And for Mac OS, you can copy now this entire bash curl fssil command. So don't click on the link, but copy the entire command that includes that link. Mhm. And then you open your terminal, which for people who don't know, you can always open up Spotlight Search and type in terminal, and then that's the app that shows up. And now you just paste it in there and hit enter. So, and this is now like a comprehensive install script that basically will go through all the dependencies. Homebrew is something, it's like a package manager for macOS, and you already have it installed, so that saves us some time. And yeah, so now it prompts you to authenticate the GitHub CLI. And basically CLI is command line interface. So you can uh, do things in GitHub through that terminal thing. Um, yeah, so now it wants you to either create or uh, sign into your GitHub account. So you have to open that link,
Mhm.
github.com/login/device. And then there you have to paste in the code. Oh, wait, maybe just follow the instructions here. I think it's
There it is.
okay. And now you have to paste in that link that you will find in that same terminal. Sweet, authorized.
That was easy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, cool. So now it continues, and now it's about Radical setup. It seems like you already have Radical installed. So that's like the distributed peer-to-peer alternative to GitHub, basically, which drives the InterBrain. Um, and yeah, so normally here you would set up a radical identity, which you get like a an alias and a passphrase, and that passphrase you have to note down. But for now, the script prompts you to create your first like it's recommended to create a new Obsidian vault. It's by default called Dream Vault and will be created at your user directory. So you can just hit enter if you like that name, but you could choose another name here.
I like that for now.
Good. And yeah, now actually it clones the repo from the GitHub repo to your machine. So the very first step is you receive the entire source code of the thing. To install it is to get the source code, which I think is really powerful.
Mhm.
Okay, that's done. Now it's installing the Node.js dependencies, building the plugin. Um, yeah, some of these steps might take a few minutes, depending on your internet connection speed. Ah, okay, here. Create radical identity now. So yeah, just hit enter.
Yes. Entry area alias. Okay. Oops.
Yeah, alias is ephemeral. You can change it at any point. And then the passphrase, that's important, and you should note that down somewhere.
Okay.
Sweet. Yeah, now you have to enter it again to start your radical node that will now run in the background, which ideally it's always running. That means you will be reachable for your peers and things like that. And yeah, so now it's setting up real-time transcription, which will download a Whisper model that, again, this is one of the steps that might take 1 or 2 minutes, depending on your connection speed. You just press enter now, and it will open your Obsidian vault, the newly created vault. And you will have to give permission for the plugins to be enabled, basically. Trust
Uh,
author and enable plugin, if you trust me.
I
That's
do.
that's the condition. Yeah, and now that's like the uh,
Ooh.
cover screen. You can click that, and then you zoom into your dream space. Yeah, and so now, importantly, there are some last instructions in the terminal window for what you should do. One of them is that you should go into the settings and there put your radical passphrase,
Mm-hmm.
which will just allow the plugin to, make sure the node is running on your behalf and things like that.
So it's going to be in here in
Yeah,
the options for InterBrain. Okay.
perfect. Yeah. This loads, takes a moment. Gotten a bit convoluted, the settings panel. And so in general, let's see if it's necessary here, but in general, there is a hotkey Command R that is your best friend since this is
Mm-hmm.
early days. And this might be one of the moments where you maybe need to close the settings panel by
Mm-hmm.
clicking outside of it
Mm-hmm.
if it's not frozen. Or is there maybe a hidden X somewhere?
Usually I just click outside of it.
Normally that works, or press escape.
No, let's see. Oh yeah, I think it's frozen.
Well, in that case, you might need to restart Obsidian, which is also
Okay.
if
Yeah, let's try that. All right, so I'll quit Obsidian.
you just open Obsidian again, it will open that vault. And that vault itself is in your user directory.
All right, so let's try doing the settings again. First, I got to go in. Ah, there we go.
Okay, so you can on the left scroll down. It will now have InterBrain as
InterBrain. Yeah.
a plugin. Fingers crossed.
Aha, there it is.
So, and now just at settings panel, I hope I tried to make it as self-explanatory as possible. So you see at the top, these are like the different features that all play together for the user experience that we're going for. And so one of them is AI magic, which is, as you can see, not working right now
Mm.
because you don't have provided any API key yet. And
Mm-hmm.
full disclaimer, I've just been working with Claude. So I enabled other providers. If you scroll down a bit, you can see that you have basically all of these major options, almost all of them,
Mm-hmm.
including local models, which I tested. Like that works as well. If you have a powerful laptop, you can run an Olama model. Yet
Mm-hmm.
the simplest way is, and like the most reliable way is that you get an Anthropic API key and just put that in the first one,
Okay.
which will enable that whole AI functionality. But it's not necessary for now to set the thing up. It's just if you want the full feature set. But if you go to the top again, then there is a radical network passphrase not configured. If you click on that, it takes you to that section.
Mm-hmm.
And now there you have to enter the passphrase. Um, right there. Yeah. And you can even test it that you don't have any typo or whatever. And then if you want, this is also a convenience feature, you can put in your email address, which ideally, if you're on Mac, that's the address that is connected to your, iCloud account that drives FaceTime calls, because, for the
Uh,
early days, this is automated that if you start a video call through the InterBrain, it just starts a FaceTime call. Um, so,
okay.
and yeah, so that's good.
Cool.
And I think this is actually all for now.
Do I need to start the node?
It's starting, it's already running.
It's
So
already running.
yeah, this
Okay.
node state is running.
Cool.
If you go to the top now, there you should see, if you refresh status, that should now show
Nice.
the network is up and running. Yeah, since you have set up your GitHub account, GitHub publishing is enabled. So in the InterBrain, Radical is the collaboration layer, fully decentralized and kind of sovereign. GitHub is just a publishing layer. So you can publish your dream songs as standalone static websites through that with a click. That happens with that. And also if you want to report anything, any bugs, that is all automated to just use your GitHub CLI. So from the app, you can give feedback and it just gets appended as a GitHub issue on the GitHub repo. Web link analyzer, that's actually not the core feature, but that's just, if your AI magic is provided, Claude in this case, you can drop any website link into the InterBrain and an agent will create a dream node for you based on that link, crawl that website, etc. But I think now we're set up. You can close the settings panel.
Look outside of it. Okay. Oh, there it
So,
is.
and now you have the InterBrain dream node that kind of anchors the space. Um,
Hmm.
in general, the you can always when you select a dream node like this, it's now selected. If you hold the Option key, you will get
Hmm.
these action buttons. And for the InterBrain dream node, they are special because that's like the special dream node that bootstraps the entire space. You will see important lower left, there is the report bug button.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's also your best friend in the early days. If you click that, it will open up a panel where you can just describe kind of the steps, what would happen when things broke and things like that. And you
Hmm.
can basically then just click send report and it will automatically create an issue on your behalf, which you
Hmm.
actually can even AI refine before you send it out if you have AI magic set up.
Nice.
So that's one thing. And also the settings button down there will open the settings you just saw. Whereas for all of the other dream nodes, that's just where you can manipulate the metadata. But for this one,
Hmm.
this is the settings panel.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. And then you can also click on that GitHub button, which will take you to the repo. That's just convenient. So,
See.
but
Right.
let's jump into the actual creation
Okay.
of your initial liminal web. And now you have the interbrain dream node that kind of anchors the space. Um,
Hmm.
in general, you can always when you select a dream node like this, it's now selected. If you hold the Option key, you will get
Hmm.
these action buttons. And for the interbrain dream node, they are special because that's like the special dream node that bootstraps the entire space. You will see important lower left, there is the report bug button.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's also your best friend in the early days. If you click that, it will open up a panel where you can just describe kind of the steps, what would happen when things broke and things like that. And you
Hmm.
can basically then just click send report and it will automatically create an issue on your behalf, which you
Hmm.
actually can even AI refine before you send it out if you have AI magic set up.
Nice.
So that's one thing. And also the settings button down there will open the settings you just saw. Whereas for all of the other dream nodes, that's just where you can manipulate the metadata. But for this one,
Hmm.
this is the settings panel.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. And then you can also click on that GitHub button, which will take you to the repo. That's just convenient. Um, yeah. So,
See.
but
Right.
let's jump into the actual creation
Okay.
of your initial liminal web because there are two types of dream nodes, like dream and dreamer nodes, ideas versus people. So this is
Hmm.
your first idea dream node here. And
Hmm.
so now, since it's selected right now, oh, you lost
Oh
it.
no. What did I
You,
do? Where'd
so
it go?
you can press Command Z and it should come back. Uh,
Aha. Nice.
but what it did, it flew out to its position on the night sky, which right now has only one star, so it's not really that compelling. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, when you have it selected, it shows up in the center. And if you ever get lost, Command R and you will get back here. But now you will take some of the people that you want to map, like your peers,
Yeah.
and just culturally or like the attitude here that I encourage is like don't put strangers in this. This is really supposed to be like here, this is my tribe,
Okay,
That
so I've got two fellow wizards who I'm going to put in here. May or may not know them. I know you know one of them. I'll put him in first. This is our friend Papa Pita. So should I just drag? I have a picture.
okay,
You
so
guys
you have
need.
a picture of him and it has the correct name. That's
Uh, yes.
okay. So then you just drag and drop it into the space next to somewhere next to the dream node. Yeah. And now it creates oh amazing. Shout out to Jeremy. Um, okay, and now if you hover over it, but you have to click, I think, to select. Yeah,
hmm
you see Papa Peter. It has the right name already. And if you
hmm
now click on him, then it will select him and show all of the all the stories that mediate your relationship will be organized around. But you only have the interbrain right now. So now you could take some meme, some idea or project or whatever that you share and do the same thing that you just did now, but with a person selected. But it's important. Like the interbrain deduces whatever is selected right now, you can create the opposite type through drag and drop.
Okay, so I'm going to keep him selected. I'm going to drag in. This is actually a meme card that he minted a couple weeks ago when we were together. So
Yeah,
all credit to him, but I'll drop it in here just for explanatory purposes. So this one says, I can click on it and then it says, who has tried and failed? That's what
nice.
it says. It's a little hard to read in the circle, but
Yeah.
so now that's connected to him.
Exactly. And now, you can grow it in different ways, but in general, all Dreamer nodes will by default be connected to the Interbrain Dream node, which will always be your entry point into the space. So, and it's like philosophically coherent because the fact that you put them into your Interbrain means that the Interbrain mediates your relationship to them in some way, right? And that you intend to use the Interbrain with them. But if you now select that meme down there, and I don't know if you have that, but if there's another person that also knows about this meme in your life, then you could drag that person there, and it would already automatically connect them to this meme and the interbrain as default.
Well, I have one other person here. Just so happens. It's another wizard. Hold on a second. So I'm going to just drop it in with this one selected, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, I know that wizard as well.
And
Amazing. Um,
I,
So yeah, that's it. That's basically the basic move for you to grow your liminal web, just to drag and drop. Um, if you now have, if it, so it will automatically make that initial connection to, when you have a person selected and you drop in a meme, will be connected to them. But if you now want to add another meme that should be connected to both of them, you can drop it on, one of them first, and then there's a manual way that you can, in hindsight, not sorry, not on them, next to them.
as
Yeah,
when they're selected, yeah. Okay.
yeah.
So this is the one that Jeremy minted. Happy Be
So
Earth Day.
nice. And so now, um,
Mhm.
you want that Jeremy is also connected to that, so you hold the Option key.
I'm sorry, I should say Jay minted this one, which is why I dropped it with him. But okay, so now I'm gonna hold the Option key.
Yeah. So this is the full set for like a generic dream node that represents an idea. And you know, let's see. Maybe we don't go through all of these right now. The important one is the lower right, which is edit relationships. If you click on that, you have the search bar, which is semantic search driven. I'm improving that in the future because sometimes semantic search is a bit overkill and actually not that accurate for little things. So um, type in Papa Pita, and this might actually work or not depending on the indexing because that's yeah, I want to build a hybrid here that for the simple stuff you just have like character like string matching normal search.
Hmm.
The semantic search is really overkill, and as I said, for some things it doesn't work. um so Command R is your best friend. Let's try that.
Command R.
So this will always, like when it reloads, there's just some cleaning up happening. And so perhaps this
Hmm.
now works. So again, Option key, and then invoke the edit relationship mode, type in Papa or something like that. Yeah.
Ah, there
Now
he
that
is.
now you can click on him and he will now stay in this glow. And that means okay, he's selected now. And if you now hit save, that relationship will be updated.
Cool.
Yeah,
So now they're both part of
exactly.
this meme.
And so now, the web becomes a bit more nonlinear, and you can see how with this simple pattern you can actually have a shit ton of different people and ideas, but always for each idea you see all of the people that collaborate on it with you, and for
Hmm.
all people you see all the ideas that you are sharing with them.
Hmm.
So yeah, this is already the basic setup. Um, and now let's see, there are a couple more features here. Um, what you actually can do is also create a dream node manually. So maybe yeah, click onto empty space or escape. Both work to exit this liminal web view. Yeah, now you can actually, like on Google Maps, drag or Google Earth, like just drag empty space and move the
Oh,
night sky. So this is
wow.
actually 3D. And as they move into focus, they scale up, move closer to you. And this is important later on because you can, through dream weaving, create actual constellations in the night sky. Um,
Awesome.
and so, but now, try, wait, what was it? I think Control N in this. Now you're in like constellation view, and there you can, yeah, click Control N, and this is where you can just create a new dream node from scratch. So let's just, for the sake of it, you have two memes here, right? Who has tried and failed and Happy Be Earth Day. Let's say you want to weave them together into some larger meme, right? These are like holons, and you want to build a higher level holon. Uh, if you have a good idea for a name for that, you can put it in there.
Let's see. That's going to be for those of us who've tried and failed, and it's our Be Earth Day. We've been re be be Earth. All
Nice.
right.
Yeah, and so if you had a media file, you could drop it here. If and you can also toggle whether you're creating a dream or a dreamer, but
Hmm.
that's totally fine. I don't know if that exclamation mark works, but it should tell you if it doesn't. So now you can create it, and yeah, select it, and now there's this flip button at the bottom. If you flip that around, then this backside shows you the dream song, which doesn't exist yet. But if you click that full screen button at the top, it opens that empty dream song in its own panel.
Hmm.
And if you go to the left again to the dream node and you hold Option key again, um, there now is this like one button up from the added relationship. There is the create dream song canvas. If you click on that, now this is a regular Obsidian canvas, but it lives inside of that Be Earthed meme. And
Hmm.
now you can just use that canvas. So right click on the canvas.
Over here.
Yeah, right click, add media from Vault. And now you can just invoke the media files to tell a visual story and, symbols,
Mm.
basically.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and so, yeah, you can drag in the other one as well, or like get the other one through the through that approach.
Hmm.
Yeah, through search you should. Yeah. And the cool thing is, the more dream nodes you have, the richer your visual vocabulary becomes, but the InterBrain will kind of keep things organized for you. So you can basically, on this canvas, every media file in your vault is available, but they are all structured holonically in these Git repos. And the cool thing that this enables now is these media files. Like let's first weave the dream song. You can now connect them with a directed edge. The idea is a dream song is basically a linear flow. You weave things together into some linear storyline. And as you see on the left, now it recognizes, okay, it has the correct order, and now on the left you can scroll through that dream song already. And
Whoa.
mhm. And you can actually like the best way to create a dream song now is like you have on the right you have two different tabs. They're both called dream song, but one is the
Hmm.
canvas and the other is the UI. And you can actually pull that UI over to the left, and then you have like the canvas on the right, and in real time you see how it translates that to the refined UI. Now you can also like the best way to do it is if you hover over one of these media files on the canvas on the right on the Obsidian canvas, um, and you go to one of the edges, maybe to the left or right, whatever. Yeah, like this blue dot, you can pull that out onto empty space, release, and then add card. And now you have a text element, and there you can just add some text. Yeah. Um, okay, that edge disappeared, so maybe connect it again to that. Yeah. But now that the syntax here is that you have to click on that edge and make it an undirected one, like on the arrow itself, like the body of it. Yeah. And then there's the second from the right, this one, yeah, line direction, non-directional. And now the InterBrain will interpret this as a media text pair and will render it like this in the UI. Um,
Uh-huh.
so every element is either a media element, a text element, or a media text pair. And a media text pair is created the way you just did it through an undirected edge. And it will like do topological sort to figure out through the directed edges what's the correct flow. And the cool thing is now all unconnected pieces on the canvas, they just get ignored. So you can be extremely messy and chaotic and just start to piece together different pieces and they will all be organized in that UI. So you can just throw everything on there and then grow through the relationship, turn it into a coherent story without needing to worry about polluting the canvas.
Can we try that? Because I have maybe 6 or 7 other images and I would love to just build it quickly, but we could also do other stuff before that.
Huh?
But just to sort of,
We can try that, but just a word on that. So
yeah.
um, I like the approach that I really want to enable for InterBrain is that it embraces chaos. So
Hmm.
um, the the basic way is that instead of now taking these 6 other images that you have and figuring out, oh, should they be their own dream node or wherever, you don't worry about that. Right now, you have a creative impulse and you're in this context, so you just drag them all here into
Hmm.
the rebirthed dream node.
Hmm.
Um,
Perfect.
and so on the left, you see the so you see the file explorer. Um,
Hmm. Over here.
so if you open the rebirthed um, folder, basically the dream node, if you drag them
Hmm.
there, that's the best way to do it. I want to, this is a small quality of life feature that if you drag them on the canvas, that they should then be automatically placed next to the canvas in that correct context. That's not working right now.
Okay, so I can't yet drag them onto the canvas.
If you were to do this, they would be, orphaned. They would be free in the vault and wouldn't have a home.
I see. And we want them to be in this particular spot.
Yeah,
So
that
I'm
this.
going to select these. I think these are the ones that are going to fit with that.
Yeah, perfect. And yeah, now you can also drag them from there into the canvas.
Onto the one on the left or the one or to this canvas on the right.
Yeah, the canvas is
Yeah.
the main thing. Yeah.
Okay. Oops. Wait. I'm going to go back. So these are all J cousins memes that I'm using as an example. Cool. So we got all kinds of
Yeah. And now
fun memes here.
like your UI ignores them because they don't have any structure yet.
They're not
Uh,
connected.
the moment you start to connect them into this linear thread, which this wouldn't work because now it's unclear where the flow goes, right?
Okay.
There has to be like a clear linear order. But
I see.
you can also start to connect some of them amongst themselves, and then they also will be added to the UI. So you can build out the structure in many different places at once, but at the final result has to be resolvable by the topological sorting into some linear flow.
So if I go like that with that, is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
Because it's got to cascade down, right? Or
Yeah.
Okay. So
Directed edges have to kind of resolve
I
clearly
see.
to
That makes
one.
sense. So we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. And
Hmm.
then the thing is, I want to put this one before,
Hmm.
like in between these two. So can I delete this and then put it in
Yeah.
between?
Yeah.
Okay, so actually I'm going to go like this. No, wait, that's not it. I'm going to delete that. I go like this, and then this is going to go like this.
Hmm.
So now over here,
Yeah. No, you can
it's
close.
it's it's in the order. So it's, yeah, so who has tried and failed? I have failed, and then I was reborn. Rejoice, free human kin. Happy birthday. Gratitude is a gift you can give
Yeah.
for free. Giving be earth to an easy earth. It is done.
Yeah. Beautiful. Uh,
Nice.
Little pro tip.
Yes.
You should be able, like Obsidian has this command palette. If you press Command P, there are just these commands you can run. And here the InterBrain has one. If you type in auto layout, I think auto layout. Yeah, auto layout canvas.
Mhm.
Click that. It basically organizes your canvas based on the UI order that it determined. So
Nice.
that can be helpful if
Yeah.
getting really
Great.
messy. Uh,
Cool.
yeah, and so this is Dreamweaving in a sense, like in its essence, though only two of these media files actually came from elsewhere. You know, the other few that you added, they are already in this context, right? Um, but the Happy Birthday and the Who Has Tried and Failed, they're actually like guests, basically, coming from.
Mhm.
If you now go back to the Dreamspace tab, hold the Option key, and then click on that save icon top right. No, that's
Oh,
it.
sorry, save. Uh-oh. Did I break it? Oh, okay. Oh no. What did I
Uh,
do? I'm gonna try to get back there.
yeah,
Okay, save.
save changes.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So yeah, there we go. Early days. That was some
It
beta.
almost worked. It's almost
Almost
working.
worked. Um,
Canvas sync had issues. Yeah. Okay.
Author identity unknown. Okay, maybe there is some Git setup that still is required for this to work.
Mhm.
But try reloading for a moment, just because it would be cool if it actually if we could showcase that, because that's actually one of the most exciting parts. So yeah, you can just right here hold Option key and save changes. No, okay. So that's some Git setup. Um, okay, I'll just tell you
Yeah,
what
yeah.
would have happened. Maybe maybe we figure it out later and then that can be edited in or something. But
Sure.
so the idea now is this whole thing runs on Git, and that blew my mind when I first really understood it. Git is a holonic system, but
Mhm.
software modules are holons.
Mhm.
And so Git has a submodule feature. And what the Dreamweaving functionality does now is that it basically recognizes the media files on your canvas that came from another repo. And it will automatically then import those as submodules into this larger context. And then instead of pointing that file path from the canvas elsewhere, it will point into its own submodule and be completely sovereign. So you could hand that Dream node over to someone, and it contains all the dependencies. It's not like, oh shit, you there's external media files, etc.
That's awesome. So there won't be broken links and missing files and stuff like that.
Exactly. And then you can actually, then the Dream Song canvas, these images become buttons that you can click. And maybe you can test it right now. I had the intention at least to decouple that from the submodule feature, so that might be working. That
Hmm.
if you, so that's another good thing to know. In the file explorer left, you can actually right click on the folder, or yeah, right click there, and then reveal it in Dreamspace, and that shows it.
Cool.
That's
There it
really
is.
um,
Hmm.
and you can also right click on the same thing and then just directly open the Dream
Oops.
Song.
Wait, let me try that again. Freeland Dream Space.
Yeah, but you could also, another item is just
Oh,
open.
here. Open Dream Song.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so
Cool.
um, maybe try that. Click on the first image, which was one of the important ones, but
This one.
probably nothing will happen. Are you clicking?
Uh, I
Yeah.
am clicking, but nothing's happening.
Okay, that's because of the Git setup not fully functioning now. But if these submodules are imported, then you can click on these media files and it will always show you in the dream space where did this come from. And that information
Ah, okay.
and that information then is used to create these constellations. Because if you interpret these dream nodes as stars, and now there's this dream song that weaves them together into some story, that then gets translated into these constellations. Maybe I can very quickly just show you how it would look like. Just
Sure.
so this is like a demo vault I'm using for developing, but just to give you an idea of how it, how it looks like when it's a bit more populated. Like you spawn in, and then these are like all your peers, um, and that's like what a more populated constellation view looks like. And here are these constellations now. So they, yeah, basically, um, here's some constellation about some ether-based technology stuff. Um, but these constellations become clickable basically because there are more than one dream song that connects that. And so that's why they become nonlinear. Like if you look over here, um, can you see that this line responds to my hover?
Hmm.
So this line here is one dream song that connects these three pieces together. And I can click it, and then it shows me, okay, here's the context where that dream song lives that connects them. So these are like the children, and this is like the parent containing their relationship. And
Hmm.
then here is another dream song. And when I click that, that's 9/11, funny. But you can kind of go through like you have different ways to see the context that connects these pieces together. Um, yeah, so that's why that constellation thing exists, that over time you can take all of your knowledge and weave it together into these constellations. Um, and also just to showcase that, here would be like a dream song of this technology, for example, where the thunderstorm generator in this case, it uses this physical effect called sonoluminescence, and then this Franke-Hirsch vortex tube. And like these are just the pieces, a very shallow, quick way to explain this. Um, Yet I can click on them and then I see each dream node because all of these are standalone memes. Like sonoluminescence is a phenomenon that can be used for many different things, but it's part of this technology. Um, and this then enables the networking side of things where if we share this star in a jar or sonoluminescence dream node and we know about this effect and we are inventors or something like that, and I build a contraption that uses this effect, um, and you're like in my network in my liminal web and share this dream node with me, that will enable the coherence beacon to invite you to check out my new invention, which uses this effect that you're already an expert on. And you can imagine doing that with anything, like creating art with some assets that we share, or a new recipe for, whatever. Um, yeah, so just to give you a quick idea, and we can jump back to your machine if you like.
Thank you. I love it. And there's some things, some clarifying questions that I would love to ask,
Yeah,
just so I get the mechanics and the ontology. But like it's starting to make more sense what the possibilities are.
yeah,
Let's see. So I guess so let me start on a basic level. So so in the dream space, what when would I drop something in on its own? Like a meme by itself to create its own node? And when would I build it out in a dream song? Because like now, what I'm going through in the dream song here, these are all now contained within
yeah,
this one rebirthed node. Is that correct?
that's correct. Um, yeah, so that's the general ontology is that there is when you drag and drop a media file into empty space, it what it does, it creates a dream node for it, and what it also does simultaneously, it takes that media file and declares it to be the dream talk symbol for that dream node. So think of the dream node as a context. That's what a Git repo is. It's a context that is able to hold the evolution of content inside of it. But humans work symbolically, I would say. So we need a symbol for that. And so this is like the Dream Talk symbol. That's like a thumbnail for what's happening inside of this space. And so if that meme is really something you want to invoke on its own, like if it stands on its own, then it deserves its own dream node. Um, but if it's more like, okay, I have this sonoluminescence, for example, that I just explained, and then you have just dozens of photos from some experimental setup that are all kind of just part of that context and don't really make sense on their own, then they all belong just as like clutter into that
Hmm.
folder. But think of like if you want to think about what should be its own dream node, that mostly translates it what should be a thumbnail. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, and the idea is that the dream talk is supposed to enhance your spoken word communication synchronously. Meaning, if you have a video call with someone and there is a thing that will make it much easier to explain that idea, like if you have a symbol to explain the idea or just, the card itself, um, that is supposed to be a dream talk symbol because these are the things you can then invoke during a video call to communicate the idea to someone else. But it's
Hmm.
basic, it's kind of always asking the question like, does it stand on its own? Um, and
Hmm.
the tooling is not fully built out yet, but I want to work towards also a flow where you don't really have to know that uh, in advance because sometimes it's ambiguous and it's evolving, right? Where you can basically um, put it wherever if you don't know if it's supposed to be its own thing or not, but you want to use it somewhere, just use it there. And then I want to make it basically completely without any punishment that you can pop it out later into its own dream node and it automatically interprets uh, pops it out and imports it back in as a submodule so it becomes sovereign without breaking anything.
That would
Uh,
be great. Yeah,
yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. Because as I sit here looking at this, so Happy Be Earth Day was a big meme in Malaga. That was one that really resonated. So that's one where I would love to pop it out and make it its own
mhm,
node, and then that also relates to re-be earthed, right? First you have your be earth day, and then you get re-be earth. So
yep.
that would be a good example of when to use that. Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
And so, okay, let's see. There are a few more things. I think because you have your GitHub account set up,
Mhm.
should try that. Though I don't know if that error that we ran into earlier will block this one. But you should be able now to publish the stream song as a website that looks exactly like that UI, just making it accessible to anyone, even without the InterBrain. So for that, you just have to again hold the Option key and for a generic Dream node, that GitHub button will not open that repo, but rather will publish it as a website, which works through GitHub. GitHub has this free feature basically. But it will also, like full disclaimer, it will create a public GitHub repo from this Dream node, meaning if that's super sensitive stuff, you don't get free hosting without exposing your data, basically.
Actually, this is a question I had is how, like, so I'm here. So where are the nodes that we made? Where, like, I see a little star back there.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
So
what's a good way to navigate and find, well, I guess I can just go here, right? I can
you
go,
can always go here. Yeah, that's always there. And the liminal web is, oh yeah, so this is not connected to any of your peers yet. But
ah,
actually for now, I, I don't know if this will work, but that's at least the intention that for now you're synthesizing knowledge that you already share with your peers. And so these other pieces that you're using, they are connected to Jeremy and Jay. Um, and the idea now is that you can take those pieces and weave them together into a larger dream song, and then you can save that, and then you can share that, and they will actually receive the coherence beacon from you, and they will be invited to check out this larger game that you want to play. And then if they accept, they will actually show up here related to that So the liminal web shows you kind of like whose game, like who's playing that game, and you can just everything is an invitation, and everyone can invite everyone else. There is no canonical you're part of it or not. It's just like, do you resonate? Do you want to play this game or not? And yeah, so it's very different than this traditional thing of like there's this fixed space, and you kind of have to decide who gets kicked out, who gets let in, and things like that. This is much more organic. I don't know. It's so distributed that there you can't even define that space. Like everyone is
Mhm.
just vibing through dream space together. Um,
That's the vibe. We are the vibe.
Exactly. And so, yeah, let's try it. Like, let's option key, hold option key and click save. Yeah, okay. So now it's syncing the canvas submodules.
Can I just delete this?
Yeah, so that's another like option key thing. And you see the trash can,
Okay.
delete dream node, and then no, you have to put in the
Oops.
title. But actually, that's really cumbersome for such a long title.
Oh, I see.
You can also, like, if you want it less safe, you can just right click on the folder in the file explorer and click delete. And
Yeah,
that's just,
over on the left here.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Curious why well, there's a README in every single folder.
Yeah, right now that's unfortunate boilerplate that I need to clean up. But the idea is the README becomes the context that defines. That's really important then later also for AI agents, but also anyone else that receives that dream node. That README just says, okay, this is the essence of what this meme is about. Um,
I see. Got it.
and
Got it.
this is where this whole thing becomes an AI agent framework that is actually like, yeah, I'm really excited about it. But for now, this is just gibberish, actually.
Got it. Yeah,
Out.
it's placeholder. So but now here's the question. If I delete Happy Birthday, will it'll mess up my rebirth dream song?
Yeah, they shouldn't be available anymore. Yeah.
All right, so
So
I'm gonna delete it.
now it's loading that because it's not finding it anymore.
Yeah. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna just start from scratch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I,
Okay. Cool. Including with these guys, with Jay and
ideally, yeah.
yeah. Okay. That's fine. Cool. All right. I love starting from scratch. And actually, I'm gonna ooh, I'm gonna throw in. Okay, hold on. Now I get to see if I know how to do it. So first we'll put in Jeremy.
Wait, so yeah, what now happened is you were not in liminal web mode. That's why by default it just creates an idea dream node. So ideally you delete that, and then I would
Mhm.
also recommend to press Command R just so we have really
Mhm.
fresh.
Ah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so now you have to
And do
select.
I want to be? I want to be selected InterBrain. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Got it. So now, and this is selected now. Yeah.
Oh,
And,
is it not updating? Then
mm,
Command R again.
no radical relationship. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
so
all right. Here we go. Let's try again.
now again, yeah, create
Okay.
Jeremy and Jay.
Okay.
And if you drag and drop something onto a dream node, by default, it just adds it to that folder. So this
Gotcha.
actually, this will become something like a much more organic and non-linear finder.
Okay. I like it. So in this case, would it make sense to drag this who has tried and failed onto Jeremy since that's his thing, or should I make it its own though?
No, that's not recommended. Like it should be its sovereign meme.
Okay, but I do want to click on him,
Yeah,
and then I'm going to drag it because that's he's connected to it.
exactly.
Okay, and now I select it, and then I hit what option, and then
Hmm.
I'm going to do the Dreams on Canvas.
Yeah, exactly. Now you can import these two media files and string them together. Like a simple thing is just get both media files through the right click on the canvas, add media file, find
Right.
the drop down, um, and then just connect them with one line. That's
Yeah.
enough to show the idea.
Cool.
Um, okay, so yeah, now if you click the save button, like a option key, like
Save.
this.
Yeah.
Great.
Syncing.
Okay, okay. If you now on the left, Re Earth, if you open that folder,
This one? No.
no, no,
Oh,
no,
over here.
in opposite in, yeah,
Yeah.
Re Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see that? Now you have subfolders,
Uh-huh.
submodules that are like cloning
I
these
see.
other ones.
So this
So
is the same as here. So it's sovereign and it won't lose any data.
exactly.
Got
So
it.
yeah, and now actually, if you flip around the rebirthed dream node and you click on these media files now, they become a button to invoke the source where that came from.
Mm,
You can just
that's
imagine
cool.
like a really complex dream song, and every time you're like, I don't know what that is, you can click on it and you get this perfect sovereign artifact that its only purpose is to communicate that idea well. And so you get
Hmm.
all of the pieces. And also, if you now share that song with anyone, that dream song, they get all of the submodules. But in the interbrain, every holon is lives at the root in a sovereign state, and also is can be submodules of other holons, so that you get like all the structure. Um, but every puzzle piece is sovereign at the root and available as its own building block, basically. So
Awesome.
that's the ontology here.
So right now I'm in, this is the root, or this is the original version of this meme who has tried and failed,
Yeah.
i.e. this here, right? So if I add context in, let's see, if I create a dream song canvas for this, and then I can like add context to this,
Hmm.
but then also appear in this context, or
Yes. Though there is, I'm trying to abstract away all the Git expertise required for this into like, automations, like the submodules, you didn't add that manually, it just happened automatically.
Mhm.
But what you need to do is to basically save, and to be honest, right now, from the top of my head, I don't know if that is already completely built out or not.
But it's in the pipeline.
Yeah, it basically the if you change something in the sovereign version, you have to tell the submodules, hey, there are updates, and these submodules need to pull them in.
Hmm.
Here I'm working actually on a pattern that is a bit sophisticated, but I think if I get it to work, that will change the dynamic completely because um, AI magic will basically intelligently decide if this change would break whatever the submodule is being used for. And
Hmm.
it will actually intelligently say, okay, I reject this part, but I continue listening for all the other updates, or I tweak it. I can quickly change it so it doesn't break what I'm building here. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, but basically the idea is that they are now entangled. There's
Nice.
It's not a portal that is like every change happening here is there immediately, but there's
Mm-hmm.
like a buffer of like, okay, these updates have to be pulled in consciously, whether that means you do it or an LLM decides it.
Hmm.
But yeah, on a high level, yes,
Yeah.
it shows up, and this is recursive, so you could go, turtles all the way down with this. Like you can,
Yeah.
this is what I'm excited about for the storytelling part because this is a shift from content creation to context creation. Um,
Hmm.
so you could, or like I plan to publish, big videos in the future that will be one dream node, but nested with potentially hundreds,
Yes. This is
hundreds.
what, yes, yes, this is the vibe. I
Yeah.
really am excited about that. Okay, cool. Yeah, because one thing that we have been just in the last week or so having some issues with is we're trying to do a shared Obsidian vault using Screen Garden. Are you familiar?
No.
It's one of the plugins that allows for real-time collaboration. But a real issue is like there's all sorts of conflict resolution issues and like with the structure, it's just like the folder structure breaks when you do change thing on one thing and then it's also very fragile because if we're all sharing the same folder, or if we're all sharing the same files, it's very limited
Mhm.
like version control. And so we can easily lose notes.
Hmm.
So what I'm hearing from what you're talking about is much more redundant because everything becomes sovereign.
Yeah.
And so, like, I guess in theory, if I were to say, well, I'm deleting the origin node, it would not break everybody else's songs that connect to that node.
Yeah. No, no. This is I intentionally like my aspiration is to kind of meditate like how do minds work? And if I tell you about something and then I forget it, you still have it, right? Like, so
Hmm.
I'm trying to make it as intuitive and, ergonomic as the
Hmm.
natural thing is. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, and so, but full disclosure here, like the networking, I tested what I could on my own, and I ran some virtual machines and some stuff, cloud machines to try to test and validate it. But of course, there is no, that's why the private beta exists. So
Hmm.
you can expect that there will probably be issues related to the networking right now. But the thing is, that it uses radical, and it's like it's not reinventing the wheel. It uses existing pieces, so it's just the glue to put them together in the right way that's needed. And so I'm confident that it won't take that long to really figure that out. But so far, that work hasn't really been done yet. So,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
then, so the idea just conceptually, the idea is that this is not how radical actually. I thought radical worked like that when I went into it because I trusted ChatGPT. And then I learned,
Famous last words. I trusted ChatGPT.
but then I learned actually you can use radical the way that I thought it was set up and that I want to use it as, but actually I kind of had to build my own little contribution or innovation to that world, I guess, by setting up radical in such a way and then encoding the git patterns in such a way that the entire system works as a social resonance filter, which means that for every dream node that you have, you see all of your peers that are listening for updates, basically. But everyone has their completely sovereign branch. Like there is no one has to adjust to anyone else. Only if you resonate, you do that, but you don't have to. And when new commits come in, um, you basically, it's called cherry picking. You're just like, okay, here are the updates, and you just look at it and you copy it into your branch. But it's not the same branch. Like it's literally like your own little thing. And they just, coherence emerges if the stuff is really good that's being shared. Um, and when you accept a commit, then the let me actually see if I can quickly share my screen here
Mhm.
to make that tangible. And like all the things we're talking about, there are these little snippets, these videos where I tried to capture that. Um,
Mhm.
so hopefully this together, like this recording together with that blog post should hopefully answer most questions. Let me see if I can quickly set this up. Set up collaboration test because I created like a script to simulate that um, collaboration testing. So this node here, okay, collaboration test node with Bob and Charlie as collaborators. If I check for updates here, it
Mhm.
will, okay, I have to invoke the command, something I need to fix. But
Mm.
so this panel here that's your kind of inbox that is specific to each dream node. And all of these things here are commits, and they are actually grouped by peer. So Bob has all of these commits, Charlie has all of these commits. So they all hold a version of that dream node and they're doing their work. And you can basically check in and see this is what's new. And now you can actually, for each commit, preview, accept, and reject. These are the three options. And you can do it for all of them at once or each commit on its own. And you can even, I don't know if I have AI magic set up, but you can summarize selected. So
Mhm.
it seems like it's working. That will basically just tell you what's been happening in this specific context. Not globally, but just like what's been going on for this project. What have my peers been doing? I don't know.
And is there any kind of signal at the moment that there has been updates made, or you have to go to that node and check for updates?
Right now, you have to check manually,
Yeah.
though that's very likely something I will add that it just on startup, it just checks for updates. I
Mm.
think I have my API keynote set up, so there is an AI summary feature, which I think is quite
Hmm.
handy.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and yeah, so, but I can basically say for this commit, introduce myself in the contributors section. So Bob added something to a section of a document. If I click preview, you see this blue bar at the bottom here, and that tells you, okay, this is preview mode right now. And this means like you have like softly loaded in the changes. And so it opens the README. And here you see Bob. Hi, I'm Bob. I'm passionate about decentralized systems, blah, blah, blah. So this is now the commit. And then you might, you probably know this document and you would be like, okay, I like this addition or not. If I don't, I can just reject it. And now this commit was moved into the previously rejected section. And from now on, if I don't get it out of the trash, it will be ignored. But I don't infringe my taste onto Bob. If he thinks it's a good commit, he keeps it.
So interesting. So you're working the same document, but you can reject something that he committed and he can have it. So
Yes.
you've sort of forked the
Yeah.
document, but you're still working on it together, even though it's
Uh-huh. It's a,
interesting.
it's all resonance based, and this gets I think this can very quickly become a nightmare. Um, there are cultural patterns to be learned here collectively. For example, creating new files for new ideas instead of having one monolithic file makes this a ton more easy, you know. Maybe just added a photo to a folder. If you reject that, that will almost never break anything downstream except when that photo is being used for a commit. But that whole thing is you can always get this out of the trash again to make that work. And actually, that's where the whole AI magic comes in because I think really the game is changing. You don't need nerds anymore to use Git. LLMs can be the mediator there. And cultural patterns need to be learned, not that everyone embodies them, but that they can be encoded into system prompts for AI agents. Because you will less and less manage the content in these repos. These dream nodes become more and more agentic, and you just give them stuff and say, like, take this, organize it inside of you in a good way. Or do something with that and stuff like that. You're no longer fine grained in detail, like managing everything. Um, yeah, but basically this way I could now say, okay, all of Charlie's commits, let's go. I accept all of them. And then you just see like all of these files get opened and they're all inside of here now. And what would happen now if I have these commits and then I share these changes to the network, everything I accept gets offered as if I made that commit myself to all of my peers. And so this is where the social resonance filter idea comes in. If someone adds like a brilliant artifact and everyone is like, fuck yeah, I want this, then it will just resonate throughout the entire social graph and be more or less like a global broadcast, but meritocratic. It needs to be killer to do that. Um,
Mm.
and if I don't vibe with it, I'm just like, no, thank you, and then I don't extend it. So this is just every commit happens like this. And then there are some commits that are just special. Right now they're here in red. And I doubt this will work right now because I have not fully set up this testing here, but this is a coherence beacon commit because sometimes the change, um, like a commit just means you make a change to that context. And already this works out of the box. If you add a submodule to that context, that means if I accept that new commit, I will receive that submodule. And so this is I can get new puzzle pieces if you add them to a context that we're sharing. And this is how Git works normally. Like you'd use a new submodule for software. I get that piece because I'm working with you on that software. What Git does not do, for good reasons so far, is tracking super modules, meaning we're sharing a piece and now you use it in a totally disconnected context, like the sonoluminescence we saw earlier. Um, and yeah, for software purposes, this has not made sense in the past to track supermodules. But for the interbrain, it's relevant. It's a feature because this is the whole coherence beacon stuff. Um, Meaning when Bob basically what he did in this commit um, is he used this collaboration test node in some higher context as a submodule. And I expect this not to work right now, but if I would accept that, um, right, yeah, I have this world not really configured, but I need like the radical thing all set up. I would
Mm.
not, I would receive that commit, which basically just says, hey, this thing is being used elsewhere, but it points to that elsewhere. And it will basically now clone a completely new dream node into my space, plus all of the puzzle pieces that it is using that I'm not already holding. So that at the end of the day, if I accept the invite into that larger game, I receive the larger game and all of the puzzle pieces, which means there is a way that you can expand your horizon. And it's a bit like a news feed that is not in a video call. Um, but it will never really overwhelm you because you already have at least one piece of context connecting you to that, and it's someone you trust that invites you. So I think this is a way that you can expand your horizon in a very, you know, gentle way, basically.
Yeah,
Um,
you're connected to it and multi-dimensionally. Yeah.
exactly. And this is then the coherence beacon, which is basically, using the social resonance filter, but to track the super modules, like track, okay, where are the larger, what are the larger stories that are being told with this piece? And this is really powerful because this allows you to take many different pieces, and for each piece you have a different subset of your liminal web that is connected to it, and then you can actually create a larger game, and then through resonance, people can actually come together and actually become peers. People that didn't know each other before will start to be connected on this project.
Yeah,
Uh,
as the webs start to connect, like
exactly.
mycelium connecting. Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool.
And the one thing also that I encoded here philosophically, like the opinionated aspect of the interbrain is that um, you will only ever see your peers that you actually put there consciously. That thing that you're working on, even though you don't, um, you only see Jeremy and Jay, that might be millions of people collaborating on that thing. But I don't think it's a healthy thing to see that number and to even
Hmm.
let alone see these random anonymous usernames and they might be bots and you have no idea what's going on. And you don't have to because for you it's just like these are my people, I trust them, and I don't really care if they create something or if something passes their vibe check. Both is fine, but we become each other's filter basically, so that you don't offer someone garbage if you don't want to eat it yourself, and that's the
Hmm.
and so that means, potentially there could be like movements really spawning up and no one really would know. They would all just feel, oh, something is really vibing here. But suddenly, I don't know, something like the GameStop miracle on steroids would be coming out of that. Um, but not because we
Hmm.
plan it, just because it happens.
Mm, mm. Yeah. So question, like, so in this case, I put Jeremy and Jay in my dream space. But that was just me dropping them in there. There was just pictures. If I wanted to say connect to you, how does that work? How do we become connected in dream space?
Yeah, so you manage your own interbrain. So you just put all the people there that
Hmm.
want to see there. And
Hmm.
they won't know. Like this is completely on your machine. And actually, if you share your screen quickly, that's
Hmm.
relevant.
Hmm.
So um, maybe reload because that interbrain dream node seems to be stuck. Oh, did you see that? You have now a
Have
constellation
a connection. Yeah,
and you can click that, but this is already the selected dream node. So,
I see. Mm.
but if you select, for example, Jeremy, Papa Peter,
Show them in the dream
open every
space.
dream space, yeah. So here, if you hold the Option key, and then click the settings icon down below. Edit metadata. So here you can now you could drag another picture onto the Dream node and change the name and things like that. But
I
below,
see.
it's
Hmm.
very hard to read.
Hmm.
You have email, phone, and Radical ID, I think.
Hmm. Oh yeah, the radical ID. Okay, so that's how I could connect is by
Yeah.
putting in his radical ID. Got it. Got
Right
it. Got
now,
it.
the canonical thing is that with your Radical account, you get a DID. That is like who you are in the Radical network. But I like it because that's like an emerging standard as far as I understand it. So that doesn't lock you into Radical. Um, but that is the thing that someone, if we want to collaborate, I need to somehow get your DID and put it into my representation of you. And then we have full kind of collaboration enabled, and you would need to do the same thing for me. Um, the email, if you put in the email there, actually, this is a great thing now. If you put in, you can put in some email for Papa Pita.
Just say it's Papa Pizza at Gmail. I don't
Perfect.
know if that's actually it. Okay.
Um,
What's the
yeah,
next one say? It's very small on my screen.
yeah. Sorry, you can hit save. I've been
Okay, save.
developing this on my huge 4K display. All of the text has been way too small. So yeah, and now you can actually this should work actually. So you can there's a difference for the how Dream nodes and Dreamer nodes, what action buttons they have. For a Dream
Mm.
node, if you hit the Option key, you will see this campfire symbol.
Mm.
And if you now click that, um, okay, so this will now open FaceTime for you and have the call already, filled in, papapita@gmail.com. So
Mm.
you could now call him. But in the meantime,
Cool.
background, you also have to allow that. Um, what's happening is the transcription is now starting in through Obsidian. So it just listens to, your microphone and starts transcribing stuff in the background. And what this does now is it is actually um, in real time listening to what's being said, and then it uses that to drive semantic search, which right now should not be super helpful because you saw the readmes, they're just boilerplate because the readmes are being indexed, the title and the readme. And so if these readmes are really well description, like good, thorough descriptions of what these pieces mean, that thing actually becomes really useful and usable. So right now, if you hold the Option key, it will basically, based on what it's hearing, pull in the relevant dream nodes to the conversation. Um, and I don't know if it's transcribing my voice right now successfully or if that is fully working. But as I said, our readmes are pretty useless right now.
Hmm. Hmm.
But you can basically, yeah, in a conversation, talk about that new card that you created.
Hmm.
And through that real-time transcription and semantic search, when you hold the Option key, it will pop up there.
Hmm.
And you will be doing what we're doing right now in a video call, which is sharing your screen, but sharing your Obsidian window. And so we can just use the one that's already connected right now to prove the point. So if you hold Option key and you're like, hey, Jeremy, check this out, you can click on it now. And this will now open since it does not have a Dream song, it will just open the media file for the Dream talk. But if it would have a Dream song, it would show this high signal condensed visual story.
Hmm. Hmm.
You can now use that to enhance your communication. Um,
Hmm.
and it will also um, keep track of all of the things you have invoked while you were talking.
Mm.
And you don't have AI magic set up, so this will not work. But if you end the video call by clicking again on that campfire icon,
Mm. Mhm.
it will automatically close FaceTime for you, uh,
Okay.
and then it transcribes everything, and it will actually populate an email draft for you on macOS with Papa
Nice.
Peter's email sent in, uh,
Wow.
and that email draft um, will now you see that like who has tried and failed. You
Yeah.
have this Obsidian link, um,
Yeah.
which if you send it, it's clickable. And if Jeremy has the
Hmm.
thing installed, he can just click it and it will clone the Dream node into his InterBrain, and also, if it doesn't already exist, create a representation of you with the email that you put in there, like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
icloud.com, and with
Mm-hmm.
the ID already pre-filled in. So through that,
Wow.
you can establish that collaboration link quite quickly. And
Nice.
if he's new, he has to follow the installation guide and then later click these things. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and there would be a summary if that would have been a meaningful call and you had a
Right.
AI magic set up. Um, yeah, but in this way, the thing can spread. You can use it to enhance your communication to Jeremy before Jeremy has set it up, right? Like he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't need to have it to benefit from you sharing your screen with these high signal artifacts. But if he's like, oh, I want these artifacts, it's like, yeah, get the interbrain and then just clone them and let's start vibing, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that worked, but you could now flip around Jeremy's stream node, full screen button. This is a bit awkward still, but if you scroll down, okay, no conversation recordings yet, but maybe try refreshing. I just want to see if it worked. This might have worked without the AI stuff set up. No, you have to flip it around and
Oh, flip it around first.
in Dream Song side. Yeah, this is bad UI still. Okay, so I'll just tell you when everything is set up correctly, every conversation, every video call you have with him, the audio will be actually saved in his repo and a transcript. Um, and so for him, you can just see like all the conversations you had, and that data you own it. It might be useful in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And every time you invoke a dream node during the call, and that list is created with all of the things you invoked, the interbrain will actually pay attention when did you invoke this and what was said while you invoked it, and then with a bit AI magic, figure out here's the best possible clip of our call where I just explained the same thing that I explained 100 times before, but just slightly differently. And that's the whole songline feature that for each dream node, every time it propagates in a conversation from one person to the next, it remembers how it propagated, how was it explained, how was the knowledge transferred, and that actually just gets added so that even if a concept is not really described in rich detail in the README, just by explaining it in video calls, you will add more and more really authentic data to it. And I think now talking about it, I think that should actually then be used by the LLM to just populate the README on your behalf. So the
Yes.
spoken word is basically the truth, and you
Yeah.
just do your thing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but this is the cool thing then, because there are just things that are hard to define,
Mm-hmm.
or impossible to define. But you can explain it and vibe it, and if you
Yeah.
have hundreds of those, that's the best thing we have, right? Like, what is
Totally.
love? Here are a hundred
That,
different ways of describing what love is.
yes, exactly. I love this because this is the best source data I've been getting for a lot of the work we've been doing recently is just having a meeting and then having the transcript be the source of truth. And if
Mhm.
you have a collection of those, that you start to really shape what that truth is
Yeah,
or what the truth is.
yeah.
Um, so cool. Wow. Well, there's more. And I feel like for now, let's bring it to a close. But I want to end so that we can say like for now, unless there's anything else you want to show, we can say demo is good for now. But I definitely want to sync up the AI stuff and I'll play around with it a little bit more and maybe we can do another like round at some point.
Mhm.
Um, that'd be great. I
Yeah,
mean, actually, I'm tempted to just like throw a few things in and just try it out and like, would you want to just like jam for like 2 minutes on it with me?
totally. Like,
Okay.
I mean,
Because I,
yeah, I have like a hard stop in an hour, but
okay.
ideally
Okay,
before
cool.
that.
Yeah, no, I've got a soft stop in about 15 minutes, so we don't have to go too long. But I would love to, yeah, let's just like throw some things in just to like populate it and see how we can play with it. And then I
Yeah,
have like two very specific questions for you that we
yeah.
can talk afterwards. Okay, but all right, so let me just play with it. And then, am I sharing my screen still? No.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen and you can just watch me play. So, I also, okay, so I'm going to add one more wizard in here. And so first I want to be with the interbrain when I do this, I think, right?
Mhm.
And then I want to add myself. It's
This is
funny.
interesting. This gets into a philosophical conversation.
Oh boy, okay, good. I'm glad I opened it up.
Do you know the book by Douglas Harding, I think his name is, On Having No Head?
I've heard of it, but I don't know it.
It's just the observation that in the natural world you see faces all the time, but never your own.
Hmm.
And in my these are cultural patterns. You can do whatever you want, but I was meditating on this, and I think like I choose not to put myself in the interbrain because the entire vault itself is a subjective version of who I am instead of
Mm.
object from the outside. So you can create a profile type thing, right? But there is no profile in the interbrain. There is not something like let me find this person and then I see a picture and like in this traditional on Facebook, you have to say, okay, this is how everyone should see me. This is
Hmm.
the bio. Everyone should kind of read this and have an image of me, and you define your persona, your mask. But you don't even know like who are the people that are gonna see it, so you kind of self-censor and all of that stuff. And this is just highly unnatural, I would say. Like this never existed ever in the past that you have to globally define how does everyone see me. The
Hmm.
only organic thing actually in a more indigenous context that you are ever asked is like how do I see other people? Which is a much more beautiful question, I would say.
Mm.
And so the idea is that you can actually create these really rich dreamer nodes and it's your unique perspective. Like there can be there's a school friend of yours and you have like a funny picture when they were small or something. You put that there, but it's
Hmm.
just hey, this is how I see you, and you could
Hmm.
even add just like this is why I love you or whatever to that dreamer node. But in the interbrain, that's my recommendation is like it's supposed to be your worldview, and your worldview contains the ideas you care about and the people you care about. And you are just the merchants of all of that in an ecosystem.
I love
So
that. Yeah, I hear that. Let me just tell you why I thought to put it in, but you
Mhm,
can tell me what how your ontology or how you
mhm,
think about it is. For me, like I'm interested in the provenance of ideas,
mhm,
um, and so what I was going to do is populate with some of my ideas, which actually emerged in context with other people, and are they really mine? Any good questions, but. How do you deal with provenance in this situation? Because also, like, I'm putting in memes that actually were the origins were Jeremy and Jay and me,
mhm.
but different. So, how do you deal with that? How do you think about it?
Yeah. So that's work in progress. I would say like first up, there is so on the purely technical level, this cherry pick pattern. If it works, we need to test it more, but the intention is that commit provenance propagates. So that if you create a commit, that is there is a way that this can be traced, and then if other people resonate with that commit, they it becomes their own commit, but that has a message that remembers where it came from. So
Hmm.
commits propagate with not cryptographic provenance right now, but just provenance. Um, yeah, and when it then comes to when you just want to put stuff, okay, this is just my own stuff. The idea, I mean, this is how I think about Obsidian on its own. Like you just put it in your vault, right? Like if it's just there, it's just your own stuff, and then you connect it not to the people who made it, but rather these are the people I want to show it to you.
Hmm.
I want to show
Hmm.
it to. And yeah, it's there are probably so many edge cases and details, but um, the provenance stuff is mostly tracked on like who created that dream node. And I don't know how much, yeah, I guess we will have to figure out how that
It's
all can work. I like the idea that ideas like stories are actual sovereign beings.
hmm
which is interesting because that kind of means like I think it's really great to say, okay, through whom did this story enter into the world? That's meaningful, like your parents, right? Uh,
Hmm.
your parents care for you, and of course they have a role. But at the end of the day, you're not owned by your parents. And in the same way
Hmm.
here, I think it's very beautiful to be just like give credit and provenance and stuff like that. Uh, Philosophically, I want to develop infrastructure that just encodes this notion that uh, you don't own any idea. Um,
Hmm.
and it's interesting because like this is the higher level mission of the whole thing is to somehow between where we are right now and the more beautiful world, we have to overcome our addiction to IP, I think, um,
Hmm.
which is hard to do, which is
Yeah.
tricky to do. And somehow I want to build a path that the InterBrain might help with that, where every dream node you create has a license in there. There's like a copyleft license, which says you can do whatever you like with this idea, but the only thing you can't do is to close it, make money off of it without sharing open source the thing. Um, but this is just opinionated ways for how the dream nodes get created. You can delete that license. Like, there's no, everything is invitation based, but that's like my invitation is like, can we find a way that we don't even think about who owns this? Because I think fundamentally, I understand it on a pragmatic level, of course, but fundamentally, I think it's a misnomer to even think about that. Who owns any given idea? Just like
Hmm.
one owns you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. I feel that it's such an interesting tension right now where I brought up Jay on my screen and I think Jeremy probably would be in the same camp and I am too. It's like the ideas I know Jay feels this way because we talked about it. The ideas live on their own and they're the more they're taken by people and integrated into their own lives and experience, the more they're alive. And
Yeah.
that's the way that they truly spread. Um, and
And
there's the
and
go
I would
ahead.
say that's just my own experience, but the less I even ask these questions of like who owns this and if money gets generated, where does it flow? And like the more I have the luxury not to need to think in that way at all, the more come through of that stuff.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
the moment you're like, oh, this is brilliant, how do I make a patent out of it?
Hmm.
That story, I think, like metaphysically, I really relate to stories as living beings. I think they're like, oh shit, cautious. This,
Yeah.
this guy
Yeah.
wants to use us. So
Yeah.
it goes somewhere else where someone
Hmm.
is just more of a channel. And I think there is, I think if we overcome that on planet Earth, we're locked into the system right now where you kind of lose out if you don't do the IP stuff. Or how do you build a company and pay the bills without that? Um,
Hmm.
but if it ever works out, it will be because there will be people that instead of, optimizing how much can I make from this one idea, they're just like saying, I just share it, and then how much more ideas can come through. So they will be like orders of magnitude more generative, and then at the end of the day, able to make a living, but proportionally with a ridiculously lower margin than what could be made of that. But yeah, I think that's kind of the Molochian dynamic in a sense. It's like you have uh, the moment this corporate thinking comes in, or like this capitalist thinking of like who owns it, and which is at the end of the day always money related. I would say. I think you are kind of reducing the valve of how much it lets through, and
Totally. And I would say that in this case, for example, that I want to give provenance because I want to, it's out of respect for
yeah,
fellow storytellers and or song weavers and meme minters and all that. And so, like it just so happens that I took a bunch of photos of all of our cards that got minted in Malaga. And so I have access to them now and I'm dropping them in, but I would want to be able to say, this actually came from Jay,
yeah.
or from Jeremy.
But you know what? Actually, now that you say it, I feel like, as we said, like this commit provenance thing is there, but it's problematic because if you're just the person that created the dream node, but you didn't have the idea yourself, that's a mismatch, right? But then
Right.
just I'm a huge fan of like uh instead of solving problems by patching stuff on top to go back and deeper and like how can we not even have the problem emerge at all? And basically on the uh natural level, the thing is solved because we're talking and you say it, hey, this is from Jeremy. And we have all of the original technology in us that we track this now. Like I will know
Mhm.
this and whatever. And so every time you share that and you say that in a video call, that will actually be added to the
That's
Dream node. And so just culturally, it will be clear. And if it's not important who created it, which so many ideas is really not that important, then it w won't show up because the natural cultural dynamic will just not keep talking about it too much, who created this. But it's like always like let's tap into that world where this already works as the source of truth instead of trying to build this cryptographic system from scratch that kind of replaces our own intuitive kind of regulation. So I think
mhm,
that probably the cultural layer can just solve this.
No, that's super helpful. I think that's it. It's in the conversation, and that gets baked into the, I want to call it the songbook, not the README, into the Dream songbook.
Sandberg, I love it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Sweet.
great. Okay, cool. Great. So we're gonna play that. I wanted to play a little bit just so you can watch me play and see if I get the hang of it, and then I can. That'll be a good part of our. Okay. So let's play with some of Jay's ideas. Um, uh, oh, here's a good one. It's called "Let's Get Playful with the Labels."
That's amazing.
This. Uh, See if I want to. Oops. If I want to open it up in this, is there a way to open it up in the side?
What do you
Okay.
want to open on?
I just wanted to see. I want to see it.
Full screen?
Yeah. I want to.
So you can always click the full screen button on the front.
Oh, here. That's it. Okay, that's what I was looking for. Thank you. Great. Okay, that's great. I love that. I want to put in. Oh, this is another good one. Through songs and dance, we advance. Let's see,
Uh,
it's a good one. And then I wanted to go back and build our the little dream song again in Rebe Earth because I thought that was fun. And I just want to make sure I know how to do it. So I'm going to open the dream song.
Oh yeah, this is also something. When the Dream Song is populated, you see the little edit button at the top right, like it's at the top right of the card. Who has tried and failed?
Oh,
Um,
yes, here.
this button. This will open the canvas. So this is
Ah,
convenient.
okay. Got it. Okay, cool. So now we're in the dream song of Rebe Earth. Great. Okay. So then I wanted to put in a few of these other things, and remind me, I just dropped them right into the canvas here, right?
Uh,
No.
right now, not. If you do
Okay.
that, they will
Oh no,
be
I have to put them into the folder. Thank you. This is why I
better.
wanted to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so
But I put that on my list. Like it's such a small feature to add that it automatically puts it next to the canvas, um, because that will make it so much better.
so let's see. I'm gonna put it right in to here like this. Is that right?
Sorry, I wasn't.
All right, let me undo that. Okay, so I want to make sure, so where I want to put it in here for now, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I'm gonna actually I'll just drag this so you can see it. So I've got my files. I'm gonna drag them right into Rebe Earth.
Yeah, I
Boom.
think you edit them twice now, but yeah,
Oh, great. Okay. Right.
that's correct.
Yeah. All right. We'll take care of. Oh, can I delete them? There we go. Okay. I'm an Obsidian power user. I hate duplicates. Okay. We're going to this, and then we're gonna edit, and then we're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna just start putting them in. Do
Yeah,
this.
that dream weaving stuff is really, it's so fun. It's such a
Yeah.
simple proof of concept because the whole thing is so generalized that you can build software with this and, websites and whatever. But to just weave this canvas is just one super simple pattern. And you can make websites for pitches.
Yeah. We're gonna do that. Okay. Let's do these for now. So this is simple. So gratitude. giving birth to an easy earth, it is done. So this is our little song.
Hmm.
Thanks to Jeremy. I mean, sorry, thanks to Jay. Jay sang this to us in an amazing ceremony. So it's a real song.
Wow.
Um, so now what we didn't get to do yet is or what else can I do with this? So I can look at it in different ways and we can
Oh
also maybe
yeah.
publish it.
Right. So if you flip around the Rebirthed
Hmm?
node and hit the full screen button.
Hmm.
Okay. So yeah. So you have to hold the Option key on
Hmm.
Dream node and then click the GitHub Publish button there. And this should actually now work. Oh yeah, and now it actually creates, it saw, okay, there are submodules here. So it will now publish the submodules as GitHub repos. Again, if it's sensitive stuff, this is not the right flow here, but they will be their own
Oh,
repos.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
URL copy to clipboard. I mean, put that in.
Yeah. And this will probably,
And
wait,
so,
okay. So that's the repo now. Just
uh-huh.
found it to GitHub. And it's now building a GitHub pages site, which should take us just a moment. But normally it puts to your clipboard, it pastes the GitHub pages site, which looks very similar to the link. Um, but one thing you can always do is
Mhm.
do you hold the Option key and open the thing in Finder? And then do you know how to,
Ah,
is it not opening?
I think I maybe just didn't click it right.
Yeah, you can also just
Features.
reveal and Finder through Obsidian. Like,
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
so,
let's do it this way. So open in Finder. There it is.
and do you know how to show hidden files on your Mac?
Remind me.
Well, I have a shortcut for it, but it's a terminal command that I don't know by hand. Um, you would need to ask ChatGPT about that. But yeah, like there's a hidden .udd file, which stands
Okay.
for Universal Dream Description. Um, and that's the metadata schema for the InterBrain. And there you have the link for the GitHub pages site.
Okay.
There's a better way actually to retrieve that. You can go to the browser again, to the GitHub repo,
Uh-huh.
and click that. Next to that about, there's a gear icon. And now, actually, I'm not sure if it fully worked, to be honest, because
Hmm.
yeah, it seems like it didn't fully. Maybe you can reload the page quickly, because it definitely published it to GitHub, but it didn't seem to automatically produce that page's site. So what you can do is unpublish and republish, and see if that fixes it. But you basically have one URL that points you to the source code that you have open right now, and then
Okay.
another one that just points to the website. And
Got
they
it. Got it.
look
Got it.
very similar.
Yeah, we could, let's see. Maybe let's
So
just try it.
that goes
Or,
through the InterBrain. Like you go back to the InterBrain,
yeah.
and that button should now say unpublish when you hover over it. Yeah, yeah, un hidden, but unpublished from GitHub.
Cool. Okay. Then that's
And
great. Well, that's good because I actually wanted to add one more thing. I want to add, uh,
okay, so there
re-
was just a little error that your permission is not to, you don't have the permission to delete repos.
oh,
I'll add that to my list here. Um,
okay. Uh, uh, uh. This is fun. Do, 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 do.
and it's so cool because it's such an intuitive way to invoke concepts. It's just through these visual symbols. And then just with the text, it's the simplest way to give, context of what the story that you're telling. Um, but this way, I really like, there you can really build a super rich hierarchy of interconnected dream songs, basically.
And then we were gonna you before we added a little text here too, and that was just add card,
Uh-huh.
and it was called I have been re-be earthed. And then that was gonna go, oh no, it says I have failed. Okay.
And
So then when I look at the
you need to
dream,
you need to
mm,
make it undirected.
oh, and this needs to be undirected. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then it should appear. Aha, cool.
Yeah.
Right. And then I can also scroll through here.
And it will actually like these text media pairs, they will flip-flop, which I think is a nice visual thing. So
Mm,
you don't have to
nice.
take
It'll be
care of
nice.
what's left or right. It just automatically will flip-flop that.
So I can try another one here. So I can say add card and I'll say I rejoice. And then I do a thing and then I make it non-directional. And I look here. Nice.
And you
That's
can add
sweet.
a text element on its own, and then it will just be displayed, in a centered way. But you have to connect it into the linear flow, just like a media.
Oh, okay. So where would I connect it?
Well, you could between the first and the second media element, you can embed it between those
Oh, like, okay, I see. Like go
into the
like
linear.
this.
Yeah, treat it like an image.
Oops, I gotcha. Oh, I understand what you're saying. I gotcha.
Yeah,
Like so. Nice.
yeah.
Oh, this is awesome. Okay. Yes. Yes.
And you can add videos, by the way. So
No.
animations um, don't fully have the logic in my mind right now, but if they don't have audio, they just play like GIFs, and if they have audio, they don't play or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but
Hmm.
I try like there are some intuitive defaults for how that is being handled.
So now what I would love to do is so I get the dream song. I'm there. Look at these
Yeah,
wizards. I'm gonna keep myself there for a minute because we're gonna try
yeah.
something else, which is just real simple, which is to bring in, so where would I put it? Oh, okay, so there's a couple ideas that I had that I want to just throw in here. These are from our Malaga time.
Holofractal, I love it.
Oh wait, shit. I
So
wanted to
yeah,
connect it. I wanted to connect it to me though.
yeah. So now
So
you created another person out of it.
oh yeah, I don't want to do that. So I want to delete this.
Yeah. So easiest way, just delete it in the file thing
Okay.
left because these names are so long. It's just
Oh right, because I have to type it in to delete it
yeah.
to make
I
sure
might change
that.
that. I might just I don't know, but
All
this
right.
works on GitHub.
So I need to find me, and then I'm gonna drag in this. Oops. And then I'm gonna drag in this one, which where we are the right people at the right time in the right place.
Yeah.
And then this one is we are the vibe, tell your friends. And then this is we are the wizards we've been waiting for. Okay. They're all kind of variations on the theme. But actually this is a good question, is like they're all kind of good on their own, but also potentially I could have made a little dream song of them. But maybe even though they're on their own, what if I create a dream song of them together? Can I do that? Should I try that? Well,
Yeah, like that's what I would suggest. Like,
let's try it.
uh, but the dream song would needs to live somewhere. So you
So
need
let's
like the
let's let's say the holofractal storybook is where it's going to live.
okay.
So
So
then I'm
what?
going to create a dream song,
Yeah,
and then
yeah, maybe just close the old canvas.
oh yeah, that's this one. Got it. Okay, and then so say I want to drag in those elements about all the where the vibe and where the wizards and all that. Do I just drag them in from over here?
Yeah,
Okay. So I just drag the JPEG in.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
And by the way, this is a bit shaky, and there might be some I have a much more optimized version that I'm working on that scales much better for more dream nodes, where this might already be broken again. But you can drag in there YouTube links, for example, and it will actually then just store that link in the dream node and not the file itself. but you have as a Dream Talk just a thumbnail of that YouTube video, and you can actually weave YouTube videos like links also into Dream Song. And this is just like
Cool.
a support thing. Like that's hopefully where community magic can come in, and people can just add more and more extensions to, be able to
Yeah.
do magic stuff.
Yeah. And this is what I want to ask you questions about.
Hmm.
So maybe let's take a moment because um, I still have time. So I appreciate you taking so much time too, because I think that I love this. I'm sure other people will love this too. And I do want to just do a little more playing around, but since we just talked about it, so you're building an Obsidian right now, which I love because I'm an Obsidian nerd. Is the plan to have it continue to live on Obsidian, or is there an eventual plan for it to be standalone?
It will be standalone.
Yeah.
Obsidian is the right soil to grow that seed in
Mhm.
first. Yet uh, the core insight is that this entire system actually is perfectly fit to be an AI agent framework. Uh, there is a button that opens Claude Code in that context for you. And these readmes tell Claude Code, what's the context for this project, etc. And the idea is that we're not, I don't know when it will happen, but we're not that far away from, just having some agentic system that you tell build Obsidian, and half an hour later you come back and boom. So
Mhm.
it's kind of ridiculous to put that system inside of Obsidian. And so the time will come when there will be this ontological inversion where Obsidian will be inside of DreamOS, that's what it will be called, rather than the InterBrain inside of Obsidian. These dream songs are an early proof of concept for that these can contain their own UI. Now that's all the same UI, but dream nodes are the most general ontological unit I could kind of find in the digital. A Git repo can literally contain anything you could think of in the digital. Everything can be a file and put into that folder. So it can contain apps, which more and more become AI agents with the UI, like that. That's where it's all going. So this DreamOS basically will be an agentic operating system for the age of digital shamanism. That's the vibe.
That's the vibe.
These are digital spirits. That's the most inclusive kind of label I could find to really feel what they are, because they are stories, so they are alive, they're agents, so they're agentic, and um, they can be apps, they can be recipes, they can be whatever basically. But the powerful thing is that if you think about them as agents, which literally it just means you initialize something like Claude Code in that context. And just because there is a document describing what this is about, Claude Code now knows that and can embody that. Um, these hierarchies, these dream songs can actually be definitions for how sub-agents form larger agents, and that recursively. And that actually, paves the path for a way that you have an extremely powerful ecosystem of co-created agents that can do ever more powerful shit. But everything is open source and free, and we co-create the whole thing. And eventually, that layer, be for me at least, I will do that, becomes when I say DreamOS, I mean that quite literally. Not in terms of like rewriting the Linux kernel or something like that. That's
Mhm.
stupid.
Mhm.
But basically, building it on top of like replacing that whole UI layer of that we have so far, which is all desktop, it's all bureaucratic based. It's a file system. Um, it's your
Mhm.
desktop. It's folders and files and documents. It's a metaphor that is outdated, and it keeps us trapped in a bureaucratic lens, which is, I would say, in a very subtle way, a parasitic relationship to what stories are. Because if you view them as documents and files and folders, you kind of use them as code to program an institution kind of thing. And you use them as tools, and it doesn't acknowledge at all that they're alive. And so I want to invoke a much more shamanic metaphor for what the digital really is, where they're digital spirits, these things, and they have context and content, but the file system becomes a dream system. The file explorer becomes the dream explorer, and that's what you're seeing. Like that's the window that you're seeing right now inside of Obsidian will be what replaces the desktop. That will be what like your digital will be like the scrying mirror type of thing where the digital spirits fly in when they're needed. And also this whole thing. Oh, by the way, we didn't use the semantic search at all. There's a way you can also use Control F to just manually do semantic search on your vault. But what this actually means is I'm building right now an MCP server that can use the InterBrain, which means you can have something like Claude Code that is able to, you talk to it and it's able to take your transcript or whatever, and it could also just listen to our conversation, and it can then use the semantic search feature from the InterBrain to pull in all the relevant context and then basically direct the memetic nutrients where they belong. So we can just talk about all of the stuff that we're working on, never needing to worry about, oh, wait, which context are we in right now? And actually, there's this orchestrator agent that just pulls in all of these dream nodes and evolves them when there's new insights, but can also orchestrate them to do stuff, etc. So yeah, long story short, DreamOS basically will uh, take this thing from being a plugin to an existing app that is fundamentally, I would say, stuck in that bureaucratic written word paradigm and invert the whole thing, and then it will just be this digital spirits in this shamanic scrying mirror world, like the dream space basically, where we just like vibe together. Um, and yeah, and actually this is pretty new. That's like just in the last few days I realized this, but um, in the Linux world, which I'm learning more and more about, and in the Unix world, like preceding that, the digital was flawless in the 60s and 70s. But then Wall Street came in and just ruined it with corporate slop, I would say. Meaning, like, so many decisions were made that are good for profit and horrible for elegance and horrible for users. Or, like,
Mm.
good for users in the sense that, making them totally dependent on your simplistic UI instead of trying to get them to, learn actually what's happening under the hood. Um, but to make things user friendly and profitable, we made many decisions which totally disregard the elegance of how Unix and that what underlies Mac OS really has intended. But there is the thing called Arch Linux, which is this distribution that is really hard to set up. You have to be a total nerd to even install it, but it's super fast because it has no corporate slop on it. It's just like completely the core what you need. And that used to be like a rite of passage for nerds to even be able to do that. Um, but now we have AI. So now we can automate that. And it will actually, take an old Windows laptop that used to take a minute or 90 seconds to boot up, and it will turn it to 3 to 4 seconds to boot up. And I want to do, basically, DreamOS will be just the GUI layer on top of Arch Linux. And so in the ascending world, especially, you know, they have a lot of shitty Windows laptops that have good hardware, but Windows is ruining that hardware. And if they can switch to DreamOS and then get this agentic thing that frees them from the bureaucratic mindset and everything, and suddenly their hardware is much quicker than it was before, that's really exciting to me. Like that there's a real potential here because AI changes the game.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You're doing the shaman's work, my friend. I love it. I love what you're doing. Um, I want to ask, this is a question I ask all the time to sort of, bring it towards a close, which is what do you need to keep to be at your best and to expand ever further right now?
Crowdfunding. That's the thing. Like actually, like it's been so it was such a blessing. Like the last year, like through that campaign, so much support came in, and yeah, and then ongoing support dripped out of that, which is drying up right now because I haven't done any big announcements, and I think many people are not even sure if things are happening right now. Um, but yeah, like just ongoing. If I can continue to focus on this and just cover my basics, which is not that much, um, yeah, right now I just would need a few $100 more per month to really make that work. Um, that's what I need right now. Yeah.
Well, what I would love to do is to bring, well, I will bring this video to the Now folks, and I know you're already in touch with Ruben. I
Yeah.
feel like that's a very rich territory for support and also for usership, because what we've got is basically a bunch of memes, like I just showed you, and a bunch of nerds, whiz nerds,
Yeah.
and we need to make sense of these because the way that we captured them, we didn't have our system in place
Yeah.
in Malaga. So that's why I took pictures of everything. And now I'm like, I have all the files, but we need to start doing sense making together of them. So it's kind of a perfect use case
Hmm.
for InterBrain, I think. So I think what would be great is to, if you want to, well, let's sort of evolve that conversation around potentially making this the Malaga cohort of now, like a core beta testing group, and what you would need to support you in that.
Hmm.
Because I know you're doing it solo right now, and I know, so I'm hearing um, funding support, but also curious about if there could also be nerd support, nerd tech support. There might be some nerds who could help you, but also I know it gets complicated when you start to manage people and all that. So just
Yeah. That like definitely that's definitely appreciated, and I have to see because it does actually introduce coordination complexity. Uh,
exactly.
that's the paradox of open source. That actually some people in our circles I had talked to them about, it, and they said like actually the contributions there has to be a sweet spot where they actually help because
Yes,
they can actually make it more complicated for you to
totally.
think. So yeah, but yeah, I would love to
And
explore.
cool, yeah, and I know in this era of the vibe code, it's like, I'm talking to wizards who are just like you. They're just like, just don't bother me. Like I'm doing it. Just like,
Right.
bring me food, make sure the lights are on. Like I'm
Exactly.
doing it. Just leave me alone.
Exactly.
So, um, okay. So there's those two things. And yeah, so I think what I would love to do is I'll play around with it a little bit more. Maybe if I have other questions, maybe we could do and I can share it with them, and just so people in the now have like this context. It would be great to maybe do one more round with you where I can get a Claude API key in there, which I actually have, but we can do that next time and do a little bit more of the sense making. And I know you're constantly updating, but like get it to one more level where it's just like easy,
Mhm.
whatever, to get people in, and even just bring in a few of the key nerds like Jay and Jeremy and like people that can work with it, and then we can start bringing in more. We won't overload you.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be really fun to do this together.
Yeah.
Because we were basically trying to build something that would do this, but you've already built it way, way, way better and with so much deeper layer thinking than what I think we were coming up with. So um, yeah, it's just amazing work, man. I really want to honor and appreciate like the deep philosophical level that you're imbuing into it, as well as like the awesome UI and all that. It's just like it's really appreciated by other wizards. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.